area.
and very blue water. It
Yeah,
was
that's one thing that Michigan is good for is the lakes for
the
sure.
lakes. Michigan is good for the water around it.
Yeah, don't drink it.
Yeah, it looks nice, but you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, don't go to Flint in order to tap water.
You don't want to get that shit on you.
No. Yeah, just but before you take a shower, just cover yourself with Vaseline. I understand that's the trick there.
So, yeah, what's the movie that you did with Bill Cosby?
Oh God, yeah, that was
That's
the Devil and Max Devlin. That's what that was, right? It was a Disney movie that was when did we shoot that? 1980, maybe? Yeah, I guess that sounds about right. And with Elliot Gould and Bill Cosby, and it was, yeah, it was sort of where Elliot played a guy who is like a bad landlord or something, and he dies, and the devil gives him a chance to redeem his soul if he I don't know, does something. So I was one of the somethings that he had to. Oh, that's right. The kid I played was into motocross, and they had done all this market research and stuff, and found that motocross is going to be huge, going to be big. We should make a movie, and it'll have motocross in it. And kids will come and see this movie because of motocross, and they did not. They did not come to see the movie because of motocross. So yeah, so I had a pretty decent sized part in that. But the movie was in that weird in between time at Disney where they weren't sure what they were trying to do, and they were afraid that anything they did was going to be that Disney was going to come out of his grave or be unfrozen or whatever they thought was happening, and he was going to come back and say, "You can't do that." So the script at first was pretty interesting and a bit of a change for what they were doing, and it had some dark humor in it. And the closer we got to shooting, the more they took all the dark humor out of it and kind of just sanded it all down. So it was very not interesting by the time we shot it. But I had it was the first time I ever had a stunt guy, like a designated stunt guy who did my motocross for me. And he was a Canadian guy who was like the 5-time world champion motocross guy. And like the first stunt that he did, he broke his collarbone. and he got replaced with another stunt guy. Yeah, really. Sure. And I went through, I swear, 3 or 4 stunt guys because they just kept killing themselves. They were just flying off of bikes and hurting themselves. So that by the 4th guy, they were all, I mean, at that time I was, 6'1" and maybe all of 130 pounds or something. I don't know. And so the first guy was almost as tall as me and maybe 160 pounds. And by the end of it, they had a guy who was like, I don't know, 5'10" and a good 190 pounds. There's just no way in hell that's me on the bike. Like you see a shot like me putting on the helmet, and then the next thing, this very large guy riding away.
So did you ever have any desire to try motocross after watching?
Not after that. Nope. I had the opportunity to buy the bike if I wanted it, and I was like, I just watched like 4 guys get killed doing no, this does not seem like a good idea. Well, and also just the other side of that is only a couple of years prior to that, I'd been in a really bad bicycle accident in New York City, that knocked me out for like 8 days. I mean, really, I was not. I was gone to the world for over a week. So the idea of like putting myself in a position to do that again was like, yeah, I don't think so. I'll let somebody else do that stuff. So,
but yeah, actually, that was that was one of the movies that I was kind of referencing when I was asking earlier if you the first couple credits you have is that Devil and Max Devlin with Bill Cosby. Then you're with Tom Hanks. Isn't Denzel in St. Elsewhere?
He is. He was a regular on
Yeah.
the show, but I did not work with him on that. Although he could have been. Actually,
did you ever
as
have
I
any
think of it, he
inkling
could have
back
been-
then when you were working with any of these people, like oh my God, this guy's going to be a friggin' star? Like,
Well, most of the no, I didn't. I never had that, and a lot of them did. No, I was more the other way. Was looking at the big freaking stars that I was working with, who are many of them are older and are not around anymore. But like I got to work with Robert Preston, who was in The Music Man, which was awesome, and and Brett Maverick, where I worked with James Garner, who was at the time a huge star. And and I did an episode of Murder, She Wrote that had a whole bunch of people in it who were really big stars at some point before that, and I played the sort of local deputy sheriff. They were all like in the Poconos or something. We were supposed to be up in the mountains, and one of the guys who had a smaller part in that was George Clooney. And
really?
so Clooney was actually in that thing, and we had a couple of small scenes. Most of the scenes that I was in, there were 10 people in, unless I was doing specific things like with Angela Lansbury, another huge star who I just loved, and she was so sweet and so that show was one of those things where every week there were special guest stars, and there were all these people